VMP at Arch. VMP is my babe. God is my shepherd. All day, every day. Yeah. Check. It's Maneza everybody likes me.
Well, remember that right here in New York.
Who doesn't like me? Who doesn't like me? Everybody likes me. Everybody likes me. They used to love me. All my biggest bosses, they used to like me. Even all my exes, they still love me. They still love me. Dude, who doesn't like me? Who doesn't like me? Everybody likes me.
Oh man, what it is, man. What's up?
What is up with you, man? What's up?
Yo. Welcome to FKU Africa Podcast. This is your host, Maneza F8, man. Coming to you live on a different location, as you can see. I'm not in Worcester now. I'm in a different location that I'm not going to disclose as yet. If you think you know where I'm at, you can comment and guess. If you guess right, I will let people know that you are right. If I know you and I told you where I was going, that won't count. I will ignore you. So you probably won't know because there's not much to see, because it's only gonna be the wall and nothing else, and the chair that I'm sitting on. So yeah, man. Without wasting any of your time, let's get back to the topic of today. So as you may have seen that in South Africa, Mr. Jacob Zuma was released on medical parole. So just to explain a few things about how medical paroles work, as a person that have worked in prison for quite some time. I've worked in prison for 6 to 7 years, so I would say that I know what I'm talking about regarding medical paroles and all those sort of things. So a medical parole will be given to someone that is actually sick, that the doctors has exhausted whatever they were trying to do to assist him, that someone that would probably be needing a care of their family. So it's given usually to people who are very, very, very close to that. I'm talking about ordinary people. I'm talking about people who've got money, people that they know in higher places, because we've seen it happening to people like Shabur Sheikh. If you remember, Shabur Sheikh was also on medical parole, and Shabur Sheikh has been seen in a number of times having fun out there. He's still alive even now. That was like 6, if not 7 years ago, if not even more. That was long time ago when he was released. So we actually not sure on where do they take these kind of decisions regarding people that are given parole. So one example would be a person like now where I was working, there was a guy who was who had what they call MDR, TB, tuberculosis. So that one is quite it makes you really, really weak, but it's curable after some time. But he was all right for some time, and then he went back into the hospital. So he was in the hospital for like 8 months, and after that he was released on medical parole because he was not getting any better. So he stayed at home for like 4 months, and then he passed on. That was tragic because he was almost going home, because he was in prison for like I want to say 14 years, yes. He was serving life, so he went, back then you had to do 15 years for you to qualify for parole. So he was already seen by parole. A decision was made that he was going to go home when he was reaching 15 years in prison. So that was tragic for his family and people that loved him. He was a good guy, but he made wrong decisions. Then he went to prison. So, I'm not saying that most people who are going to prison are good people making wrong decisions. Stories differ in people. There are different things that can be said about people who are going to prison. There are different things that can be said about people who are coming out of prison. Some are doing good things for the community. Some are going back to prison. So it's different things. So going back to Zuma, I don't really care about this situation. I don't really care if he's out. I don't care if he's in prison. I care very less about the man. I don't even know him. I've never met him. It's not someone that I really care about, even in politics. I don't even care about ANC politics. So I really don't care if he's in prison or he is not. But I just wanted to explain about the part of the parole. I'm not going to go into the actual legislation on Correctional Service Act, on how the stipulations about the parole. That's something that you need to look into if you are interested in it. But I just wanted to tell you about my experience as a person that have worked in prison, who actually knows these kind of things, actually knows when people usually go to medical paroles, when people usually go to VODs, when people usually go to see parole boards and all these kind of things. So he went to see the doctors, and then he was in the military hospital. He stayed there, and then he was released back. So yeah, so let's just read something out of South Africa, because El Cesar is not South African. Just try to see what do the world think about what is happening in South Africa. How do they express the news to their people? So the headlines, as you can see, Jacob Zuma, South Africa ex-president, released on medical parole. Yes, he is. Jacob Zuma will complete remaining of 15 months prison sentence in system of community corrections, says Department of Correctional Services. Yes, that's what it is. He's not actually being released. He's still under correctional service, Department of Correctional Services, but now under community corrections. So he will be visited, if you will. He is supposed to be visited on, I think, on monthly basis. Sometimes depends on the offenders. He's actually an offender now. On the offenders, he can be visited for in weekly basis, monthly basis. After 3 months, if it's a long sentence that is serving outside, since it's not that long, you must supposed to be visited on monthly basis. You're not supposed to leave the home out after 7 or 8. He's supposed to report whenever he's leaving the province. He's supposed to report whenever he's going to work, coming out of work, where he's working, where is he. Is he now not working anymore? They're supposed to do surprise visits wherever he say he is working. But I don't think he will be working now because he's an old man. So yeah, man. I hope his family is happy now that he's back home. So continuing reading, former president of South Africa has been released from prison on a medical parole. Prison authorities have confirmed. Zuma's 79 years was sentenced to a 15-year prison sentence 2 months ago by the country's constitutional court for contempt after he refused to appear on a judicial commission prohibiting correctional during his nearly decade-long presidency. Corruption, not correctional, corruption, yes. So, a medical parole placement for Zuma means that he will complete his remaining of his sentence in the system of community corrections, whereby he must comply with a specific set of conditions. So, as I was saying, there's the number of rules that you need to follow when you are under correctional service, community corrections. You need to be on time. You need to be at homes in certain times. So you need to go by those guidelines, if you will. Supervision until his sentence expires, the Department of Correctional Service said in the statement later on Sunday. So yeah, that's what it is. So we are all hoping that that we are all hoping that he's going to actually do the right thing and to make sure that he's not going to skip the country and be seen having fun while we all thought he's dying, while he went out of prison because he's dying. It's actually um, a good a motivation for him to set up his son to run again because actually uh, it's a good story now that he went to prison and then he's actually going to say that he's responsible for his actions, but he didn't go to prison for his actual actions with actual corruption. So he went to prison for the contempt of court, as I mentioned on the video that I have about the situation that was happening before he went. Just after he went to prison, then the looting started. So I explained everything about what was happening. So I think that video is around it's episode. I think it's there around 57, 58. That's 52. Reason why Zuma should go to prison. That was before, and then episode 55. That's when Zuma really responsible for the looting. So this is where I explain more about what was happening. Episode 55. You need to check that out. That's where we explain more about people who were looting and talking about Zuma, talking about him, and the Zondo Commission and all that. So please make sure that you check this out. Subscribe to the podcast. You know what to do. This is where you subscribe. You hit that button over there, or you just you're gonna see a button here because I won't see it because it's my channel. A red button. You click on it, and then you are in. Yeah, the numbers are doing good. Good. So yeah, man. The Zuma situation is actually troubling for a lot of people. Like even for ANC as well, because we are now very close to the elections, as you all know. The elections are just around the corner, and we need to make sure that we do expose this kind of things so that people who are going to vote, they actually know that they are who are they voting for, because voting for ANC in our days, it's actually voting for these kind of people who will end up in these kind of situations. People like our former president Jacob Zuma, who was sent to prison for not for attempt of court. He was not willing to go and answer for the corruption charges that were laid against him in the Zondo Commission that he actually formed himself. And now we have the president, which is I want to play this one.
Nobody will be forced to take this vaccine. I want to repeat, nobody will be forced to take this vaccine. I want to repeat, nobody will be forced to take this vaccine.
This is actually when the vaccine was still being talked about. Back then, it was not yet in the country. they were still trying to organize it, and there was AstraZeneca that was coming, and then they figured out that it was going to expire soon, and then the variant that has changed is not going to be okay for for the new variant and all that. And then he was trying to let people know that the vaccine is coming and no one will be forced to take the vaccine. But now they are doing all kinds of forcing people to take the vax, and it's just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous how they manipulate our people, how they try by all means. They even now are giving free tickets for people to go and watch South Africa playing Ethiopia. I was listening to the PE in the morning, the radio, that they are giving away tickets. They are giving away tickets for people to go and watch South Africa against Ethiopia, and then those people will only be given to people who took the vaccine. Yes, people who took the vax will be sorted out, and people who did not, you know what I'm saying. So it's really it's really funny to hear that he's saying that no one will be forced to take the vax, but everyone is being forced now. They said it's mandatory to do anything now. You will be going to shops, you'll be going to restaurants, you need to get the vax. You'll be going to watch soccer, you need to be vaxxed. You'll be going to the airports soon. They will say that, but I doubt airlines will allow that, because most people who are uh, um, going out and about with airlines are mostly not vexed, and then are bringing business to the airline. So I don't think that will happen, but that might happen as well. So anything is possible. Yeah, this is South Africa, after all. So you can expect anything to happen, because it's already happening in other countries, that people are not allowed to go into certain places. People are not allowed to enjoy certain festivities. People are not allowed to do certain things around where they are staying, or where they commute, because of the fact that they are not yet vexed. So it's really sad and it's really bad. We need to make sure that when it is time now for us to vote, we remember these things, because the kind of treatment that we got from ANC during these times of COVID, it was really bad. It was really bad, because even now everything it's kind of open now, but we're still on stage 3, and certain things are still closed. Certain things we cannot do, certain things we cannot buy. So we really need to make sure that we actually do consider these kind of things when we vote. The kind of powers that we give to the government. Which kind of government do we want to give those certain powers? Because the power that we give to government, it's coming back to bite us. The kind of power that we gave ANC is coming back to bite us. I saw tons of certain artworks that they are doing, posters on Twitter that they want people to donate to their fund. As you know, that ANC was struggling to even pay their employees. So now they are doing some sort of campaign for people to donate. They left their, I think it's FNB or Capitec account for people to donate. So look at those kind of things where a big company like that, a big organization movement that was started in early 90s, 19 or 18, 19 or so. So it was started very, 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 very many years ago. So it's sad to see it being reduced to nothing as it is now. After 27 years of power, they still cannot fix the basic things among in the communities. Everything is falling apart. The kind of railroads that were left by the white people, the train stations, the buildings, they are collapsing. They can't even maintain whatever that was given to them by white people back then. It's really sad to see those things happening, and we call these people our people that are here to save us. We call those people our people that have liberated us from the slavers, the oppressors, but they cannot do basic things for us. So it means that they were doing those things not based on trying to give us a better life. They were doing those things to seek rolling and seek financial stableness for them and their families. They are financial stable for life. Those kind of people. I'm talking many of them. They are sorted for life. They are sorted. Everything is sorted out. Everything is catered for their great grandchildren. The kind of money that they looted out of our country is I cannot even manage to think of. I cannot even dream of getting that kind of money that is being looted by those people out of our state money. And then comes Guptas, comes a lot of companies in mines from Canada, from USA, from England, from Germany, from Portugal. They are all over South Africa taking the minerals, and we are still voting for those people. It's time now to put your money, your vote, where your mouth is. If you think you're saying to me that we are tired of not your children not getting better education, you are tired of driving in potholes, you are tired of not getting money from the government to make sure that everything around you is working correctly. You are tired of paying tax and not getting right services in the road and not getting right services around you on the government facilities. It's time now to put your vote where your mouth is. Fikiria kwa undani, ndugu, Tsamaku.